Welcome to Northwest Liberty News. I'm Abigail Green, and this is my co-anchor, Eleanor Carignan. We have an exciting and eye-opening program for you.
Our show today will be about modern government and will feature many guest speakers that will help us think about what is the true role of government and clarify the difference between freedom and liberty.
Let's open up by talking about government today. People often make the mistake of thinking we are a democracy, but really we have a constitutional republic. That is a significant misconception because in a democracy, the majority can impose its will on the minority. It is unlimited. While in a republic, the majority cannot take away certain inalienable rights. It is limited and controlled.
Exactly. I believe that as citizens of the United States, it is so important for us to understand this. On a similar note, we need to realize that there is a difference between freedom and liberty. Freedom is a state of being capable of making decisions without external control, so making the decision for ourselves. While liberty, on the other hand, is freedom which has been granted to people by an external control, meaning that somebody says it's okay for us to do things. These two definitions are important to keep in mind during the segments that we have planned today.
Even though the Constitution was created to preserve our liberty, it is not the thing that gives us our rights. Our rights are inherited. They are ours with or without ink and paper. James Madison, often referred to as the father of our Constitution, said rights are physical, they are ours. Now, Ellie, I really like this thought and agree with it 100% because as a human, I feel like there are certain things that are a part of our blood, our composition. I feel as if having our rights is as important as food or water.
Yes, I agree. As humans, it is essential that we have these rights. On a similar note, a thought that many people, past and present, have brought up and discussed is that because we are created by God, who's the most free being in all of existence, his freedom is a part of us.
Speaking of God, our founding fathers had him in mind as they were writing the Constitution. When they were creating our nation, they were thinking not only about religion, but about basic morality that comes with being human. They thought it was important that we were a civil nation that understands basic wrongs and rights.
Here to shed more light on this topic is a special report by Rebecca Georgeson.
Noah Webster wrote, "To give children a good education in manners, arts, and science is important. To give them a religious education is indispensable." At the time this nation was founded, most, if not all children were taught to read from the Bible. Almost everybody had a basic knowledge and understanding of the Bible, and everybody had high moral standards, especially our founding fathers. They understood how important God was in the government of our new nation. George Washington said, "It is impossible to govern the world without God and the Bible. Of all the dispositions and habits that lead to political prosperity, our religion and morality are the indispensable supporters. Let us with caution indulge the supposition that morality can be maintained without religion. Reason and experience both forbid us to expect that our national morality can prevail in exclusion of a religious principle." After the Constitution was written and ratified, John Adams said, "We have no government armed with the power capable of contending with human passions unbridled by morality and religion. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." And how could it be any other way? A nation is much easier to govern if the people are moral, as fewer laws are required to maintain our right to life, liberty, and property if people are naturally inclined to do what is right. Now you might say, what about separation of church and state? The separation of church and state that Thomas Jefferson fought so diligently for was never meant to keep religion out of the government. It was intended to keep the government out of religion, specifically to avoid the institution of a state religion. Patrick Henry said, "It cannot be emphasized too strongly or too often that this nation was founded, not by religionists, but by Christians, not on religions, but on the gospel of Jesus Christ. For this very reason, peoples of other faiths have been afforded asylum, prosperity, and freedom of worship here." In closing, the words of Samuel Adams. "He, therefore, is the truest friend to the liberty of this country who tries most to promote its virtue, and who, so far as his power and influence extend, will not suffer a man to be chosen into any office of power and trust who was not a wise and virtuous man. The sum of all is, if we would most truly enjoy this gift of heaven, let us become a virtuous people."
If you have any further questions on any of the things we discussed today, visit the Northwest Liberty Academy website, which is on the screen below. Thank you for watching. See you next year on Liberty News.